Chrissy Teigen finds religion. Briefly. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. And yes, everybody's favourite moon-faced, self-promoting narcissist, Chrissy Teigen, the lady who doesn't know how to pronounce her own surname, is once again ensuring that we all know what she's up to. This is the woman, of course, that wants to ensure that you know about her personal tragedy of suffering a miscarriage, or was it an abortion? She wasn't entirely sure. This is the lady, of course, that deemed it would be appropriate to bully a young lady online, encouraging her to take a dirt nap, i.e. to kill herself. This is the lady that made some rather unusual and unsavoury comments about young children online. This is the woman that regularly says she's going to take a break from social media and then reappears 48 hours later. This is the lady that has to ensure that any aspect of her life is picked up and displayed to the world because she is so hungry for that fuel. That she lives so much of her life by sharing it online, and then it gets picked up by some of the supine, more vacuous publications and aired to the world at large, thus resulting in a cumulative reduction in the world's IQ. Yes, Chrissy Teigen, who undoubtedly would insta having a dump if she deemed that that would be appropriate to gauge a response. But what is she telling us this time? What aspect of the amazing and scintillating satellite-dished individual's life are we going to be treated to? Well, unsurprisingly, it comes courtesy of Hello, and an article from Faye James, who leads with the rather worrying headline, Chrissy Teigen's harrowing in-flight experience, erroneous takeoff scare. Oh dear. It couldn't be the case that her face generated drag on the plane, which resulted in it having to experience an erroneous takeoff. Well, we better dive in and find out what this grave news is. After all, everything else that's going on with the world, put it on hold while we find out what Chrissy Teigen has been experiencing. Chrissy Teigen shared a heart-stopping moment from a recent flight that experienced an erroneous takeoff, resulting in a terrifying halt on the runway. Well, if Chrissy Teigen can share this, why don't all of you, the next time that you have a delayed flight, or has a pigeon gone into the engine, or perhaps you've experienced some rather rough turbulence, get it out there on social media. Hello might pick it up, and then everybody around the world will know what you've been doing vis-a-vis your travel arrangements. Apparently, the model and cookbook author, 38, took to her Instagram stories. Of course she would do so, because she has no boundary recognition, doesn't respect the right of other people not to know what she's doing, the fact that she has that sense of entitlement to share everything, and of course, that underlying need to control people through posts on social media and draw fuel by way of their responses. So she took to Instagram stories on Monday to recount the unnerving experience. So brave, so stunning. Let's all give her a minute's applause. Why don't we have a special Chrissy Teigen day for her, to salute her bravery in overcoming this unnerving experience? In a video recorded as the plane taxied back to the gate, notice she's right on the button with this stuff, isn't she? It's not like she waits until she's got to her destination, or maybe a day or two later. No, something's happened to me. I need to share it. Something's occurred. I need to share it. This has happened in my life. I need to share it. This shows the level of self-absorption that this individual has, that the moment that anything occurs to her, and it's not that unusual to have problems with a flight, it's, oh my God, it's happened to me, Chrissy Teigen, my fans need to know. In a video recorded as the plane taxied back to the gate, Chrissy's voice trembled as she explained, "We just had something called an erroneous takeoff. I don't even know what erroneous means." Oh, for the love of God. This shows you what's going wrong with this planet, that these dim-witted, vacuous individuals get themselves into such a position of prominence to wank on about the minutiae of their self-absorbed, self-centered lives and then admit, I don't even know what erroneous means. This just demonstrates not only is she a dimwit and self-absorbed, because she doesn't even recognise, don't admit that. You can just say we had an erroneous takeoff. But because she puts everything out there without any filter, without any restraint, without any facade, she admits, I don't even know what erroneous means. To be honest with you, we were going 1,000 miles an hour to take off. Really? 1,000 miles an hour? Gosh. What were you in? A fucking jet plane? Were you in some kind of fighter aircraft that we didn't know about? And then came to a complete stop. A complete stop, as opposed to what? A partial stop. For like 3 seconds, I was bracing for impact, absolutely positive that we were braking because we were going to hit something. And we didn't, she continued. The relief was palpable in her voice as she added, I became very religious all of a sudden. I was like, praise the Lord, praise be. Ah, yes, the old there's no atheists in the trenches approach. That at a moment where she thought that she was going to meet her maker, she decided that she would get some religion. Though she did not disclose the airline, Chrissy expressed her gratitude for the pilots and the plane, saying, I'm so grateful for these pilots and the plane for doing what it was supposed to do. Well, fair enough to express the gratitude, which of course is a compliment, which is a benign assertion of control, but again, showing her dim-wittedness. Well done, plane, you did what you needed to do. Do you think she thanks a toaster in the morning when it toasts bread for her? Or that she thanks the toilet, thank you for flushing away my poo? In the caption written over the video, she tagged her husband of over 10 years, John Legend, 45, pleading with him to, please answer your phone, I'm on Final Destination. Oh, for fuck's sake. Notice the melodrama with this clown. But of course, it is the old main character syndrome, whereby she believes that this is hugely important. The article then bangs on about their children, and apparently before the terrifying incident, Chrissy had been sharing snippets of her journey to the airport with her followers. Wow, fascinating, because we've never seen anybody go to an airport before. One clip showed a bumpy car ride from the back seat, finale, as the vehicle approached the airplane. She also showcased some of the menu options, including the classic beer cheese soup, humorously referring to it as Mimo's beer cheese. Fucking hilarious. She should be on stand-up. Reflecting on the ordeal in a later clip, Chrissy said, that's actually my worst nightmare. Documenting your flight and being like, oh, here's the plane, here's the menu. And then all my last photos on Daily Mail would be, she had beer cheese. That was her last meal. Notice again the self-absorption, that level of detail would be provided by the Daily Mail. She might be right about that, actually. But nevertheless, notice how she's envisaging that her death would be recorded as a note and that she had beer cheese. Despite the scare, Chrissy managed to keep her spirits high, joking with a smile, my last video was me saying Mimo's beer cheese, which is actually so great. My last words were nearly Mimo's beer cheese. I have to admit, I actually feel slightly less intelligent as a consequence of reading all of that. I'm sure it will fade away shortly. I'll go and read something more meaningful after making this particular narrative. But once again, it provides you with an opportunity to understand the vacuous nature of Chrissy Teigen, a woman who is utterly self-absorbed and has to ensure that anything that happens to her is immediately put out there on social media because it's driven by her innate narcissism, pursuing those all-important prime aims. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.